The University of the West Indies, activist at 75, driver of 7.5 decades of Caribbean development, host to multi-generational intellectual service to its people, designed and dedicated to detaching them from the colonial scaffold, patron to regional integration, partner in the political democracy and sovereignty agendas, promoter of cultural identity and social multiracialism, gender equality and women's liberation, and advocate of indigenous economic development and broad-based sustainable post-colonial transformation. 7.5 decades of effective teaching and research in support of nation building. Creator of conscious citizens, architects of their existential arrangements, the University of the West Indies, deeply rooted in Caribbean civilization, prepared for 21st century service and rapidly rising as a first-class global institution. At 75, its reputation has never been higher, its global visibility has never been greater. Ranked in the top 1.5% of the world's finest 30,000 universities, it is on top of its game, #1 in the region, and holding its head high with success. Dignified in its decades of struggle, these outstanding achievements are the results of an unwavering activist commitment to finding solutions to the region's challenges: social equality, economic development, democratic political reform, climate change, public health, sustainable energy, reparatory justice, and many other needs. It is an academy that has been persistent in its search of social upliftment, partnering with indigenous institutions, CARICOM, Caribbean Development Bank, Caribbean Examinations Council, and many others. It has produced and honed the region's finest leaders, from the longest-serving senior statesman, Dr. the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves, to the youngest and most recently elected, the Honorable Dickon Mitchell. It has benefited from the wisdom and vision of non-alumni leaders such as the Honorable Mia Motley, whose call for a new global economic order resonates in the corridors of its classrooms. As an activist university, it was selected in 2019 by the International Association of Universities to lead the Global University Consortium on Sustainable Development Goal 13, Climate Action, in recognition of its decade of distinguished research on climate change. In this role, it received commendation from the Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change in the 6th Assessment Report. It is now recognized as the lead producer of research on small island developing states. Also, as an activist university, it has produced the leadership to build out an association of Caribbean universities, an organization of over 50 universities across the language terrain, unifying the higher education landscape of the Caribbean and driving the regional integration process. Rising to the challenge of COVID-19 management, the UWI mobilized its community of virologists, microbiologists, and epidemiologists to work with the health sector and governments to save lives. With sleeves rolled up, UWI scientists made their societies proud in their effective service. The leading research academy in the region, globally competitive, and ranked as excellent in the generation of new and relevant knowledge, center of gravity of the region's research culture, and host to its finest community of creative writers and artists. The soul and spiritual beat of the civilization. Today, the university sits at the pinnacle of the global reparations movement, seeking justice and a new development paradigm for the region. The world is on the cusp of a major structural transition driven by reparatory justice, an inspired development by CARICOM that calls upon the university to play its part. The university has proclaimed its intention to position itself as the epicenter of digital transformation for the region, building out the capacity for a knowledge economy that is rooted in digital science and propelled by corresponding technologies. The UWI at 75, energized for the future and focused on the region's needs at 2050. A public university sustained by the financial and policy support of regional governments, always seeking to assure them of the positive outcomes of their investments. The UWI, 5 campuses hosting 50,000 students, erupting over 75 years. The region's greatest gift to itself, an excellent ethical university, steeped in the struggles of its people and driven by their finest imaginings. Consolidating the past, the UWI now looks deeply into the future, focusing on claiming and owning that dignified place called the Caribbean world, sophisticated, sovereign, and sustainable.
Alumni and friends of the University of the West Indies Global Campus, formerly the Open Campus. Our esteemed viewers in the Caribbean region and worldwide. Class of 2023 and your dear families. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to extend a hearty welcome to you to the virtual graduation ceremony of the University of the West Indies Global Campus. We give thanks for today and for the advanced technology which has made possible our congregation in what, to all intents and purposes, feels like one cyberspace. Our fundamental and overarching goal today is to gather in camaraderie with and publicly congratulate our graduates and celebrate your remarkable achievements as graduates of the UWI Global Campus. As we fulfill this important mission, it is also opportune to pay homage to your families, your tutors, your sponsors, and all those who have made your success and level of accomplishment a reality. We ask you to wholly embrace this ceremony today as memorializing you for what you have done for yourselves, because ultimately your success today would not have been possible had you not chosen to be academically fruitful. So, I say as your campus principal, well done, class of 2023. This ceremony goes beyond the descriptive milestone in the lives of our graduates. Fundamentally, it is also a living testimony to our university's enduring commitment to excellence as we proudly mark the University of the West Indies' 75th anniversary. That is, its Diamond Jubilee. Our anniversary theme, encapsulated in the tagline, Rooted, Ready, and Rising, is especially appropriate for us at the Global Campus, your campus, having rooted ourselves in our many years of serving our communities beyond the walls of the university, and now ready, feeling fittingly confident to burst into the global education environment as we rise to the occasion of worldwide expectations. My dear class of 2023, the Global Campus's expedition into your towns, villages, and hamlets leaves those looking on and those who have directly benefited with absolutely no doubt that we can make legitimate claim to having participated in the operationalization of Agenda 2030 by ensuring equal access for all women and men to affordable and quality technical, vocational, tertiary education, including university, and ensuring that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development. As we embark on this remarkable journey into the future. It is opportune to remind the universe of our exciting transformative rebranding on August 1st, 2023, from the open campus to the global campus. This conversion underscores our commitment to breaking down geographical barriers in pursuit of knowledge, while we continue to fulfill the vision of an excellent global university rooted in the Caribbean. The COVID-19 pandemic brought to the fore, in a dramatic way, that higher education had to change forever if it was to endure, prevail, and thrive. Fortunately, our predecessors and ourselves at the global campus understood long ago, and the COVID-19 pandemic merely confirmed for the rest of the region and the world that the absolute future of higher education institutions is inextricably linked to their having the capacity to deliver high-quality credentials and skills at all levels via asynchronous online teaching and learning. While many universities shut their doors during the pandemic, the University of the West Indies Open Campus, now Global Campus, remained wide open, and therefore students were able to get on with the fulfillment of their academic dreams. The Global Campus, now your alma mater, continues to be a godsend and boon to the Caribbean. And as we move inexorably into the global market, we will continue to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt our supremacy in delivering asynchronous online teaching and learning, the authentic thing, which is absolutely not the same as remote emergency teaching which others supply. Our rebranding of the open campus to the global campus and its repositioning on the world stage represent the university's vote of confidence in us, as encapsulated in the statement. The UWI sees an opportunity to leverage its global academic reputation and the online education capabilities of the open campus to enter and serve selected niche areas of the large and rapidly expanding global online education market. Our university's School for Development Justice, ISDJ, of which every UWI campus is a stakeholder located within the global campus, will offer programs in the academic domains encompassing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, such as climate change, food security, public health, sport and culture, the international economic order, poverty and underdevelopment in the post-colonial world, law and social justice, renewable energy, the environment, tourism sustainability, new diplomacy for global equality, gender justice, and reparations. In essence, the future is bright. My dear graduates and all our viewers around the world, it is against the backdrop of this exciting future that I once again extend to you a hearty and warm welcome to this graduation ceremony 2023. And I invite you to sit back and enjoy the accomplishments of our fellow citizens. Let the ceremony begin. Let's go.
From many distant lands, our forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound in chains. Through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain, by test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrate in song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum for Caracom. Though great and diverse be our ethnicities, the bonds that unite us are stronger than these. We dine, we pray, we love, we dance and we play. We relate to each other the West Indian way. Today as a people united, determined and steadfast we stand. We look to a brand new horizon, the future now firmly in our hands. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrate in song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum for Caracom. Hele, hele, bravo. Open you sing Caracom. Leve, leve, wow. Naki you drum Caracom. Tabu ya tabu awo. Open you sing Caracom. Leve, leve, wow. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrate in song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum for Caracom. Hele, hele, bravo. Open your sting Caracom. Leve, leve, wow. Hele, hele, tabu ya tabu awo. Naki your drum Caracom. Leve, leve, wow.
Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Mr. Robert Bermudez. Vice Chancellor, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles. Pro-Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal, Dr. Francis Severin. university executives and other members of staff, honorary graduates, distinguished guests, welcome to the virtual presentation of graduates ceremony for the 2023 graduating class of the University of the West Indies Global Campus. I am Honorable Ambassador Dr. June Soomer, Chair of the Global Campus Council. I have the honor of guiding you through the afternoon's proceedings. We celebrate with you, our graduates, and your loved ones across the region and the world. I now invite the Chancellor to address the company.
Vice Chancellor, Professor Hilary Beckles, Chair of the Campus Council, campus principals, members of the university's leadership, and other UWI colleagues, honorary graduates, valedictorians, and graduating class of 2023, distinguished guests, members of the media, families, friends, and well-wishers, and those joining us today online via UWI TV. Welcome to the 2023 presentation of graduates at the University of the West Indies. My heartiest congratulations to each graduate of the class of 2023. You have worked hard towards completing your programs of study, and today we are absolutely delighted to be celebrating your accomplishments with you. You may know that this is one of 14 graduation ceremonies that are taking place across the UWI system. In 1953, 70 years ago, 11 graduates from the Faculty of Natural Sciences were presented for graduation to the then principal of the Mona campus, Dr. Walter Graves. At the ceremonies this year, more than 7,500 graduates will be presented across those 14 ceremonies. It is an impressive demonstration of the intellectual achievement across all age groups and disciplines at the bachelor's, master's, and doctoral levels. And I am so proud of each and every one of you. You are now among more than 250,000 UWI alumni who serve globally across all disciplines and in all spheres of operations. A former Vice Chancellor used to make the point that if all UWI alumni in the Caribbean stayed home for one day, business, governments, and civil society organizations would not be able to function. You, our graduates, are the most significant and visible contribution to development at the national, regional, and international level. This year, the University of the West Indies is celebrating 75 years of service to the region. Since 1948, the UWI has worked on affirming its position as the premier institution of higher learning in the English-speaking Caribbean. It is acknowledged as a regional institution and has been making significant strides on the global stage, particularly in the areas of biodiversity, climate change, and reparations. UWI faculty members have been making distinguished contributions in these and other areas, and in doing so, have brought acclaim to the UWI. Graduates, most of you began your programs at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, and some before the lockdowns and restrictions that changed our delivery mode. Some of you may have completed your programs entirely online, and some in blended mode. Whatever your experiences may have been, I trust that in addition to completing your academic programs, you were able to form friendships, some of which will be important in your professional lives, as well as your personal lives. As we celebrate today, I am sure that you are reflecting on what the future holds for you, indeed for all of us. Several trends are impacting how we consider the future. Progress in technology has been moving rapidly in the past few decades. Globalization has been impacted by information and communication technology. In the space of time that it has taken you to complete your programs, technology has advanced, reflecting on the quote, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." The pandemic forced many who may have been unwilling before to fully embrace technology. Whether you were a digital native or an immigrant, we all Zoomed for many hours, starting in 2020, when lockdowns were first implemented. Many of us are still Zooming on a regular basis. Classes, business meetings, social engagements, auditions, interviews, reunions, and yes, graduation ceremonies as well can be held virtually. The reality is that these amazing developments in technology, artificial intelligence, virtual and augmented reality, have caused our world to shrink to the devices that we can carry around in our pockets. Information technology has made the entire world so much more accessible to many. With digital boundaries disappearing, globalization is real. These rapid changes in technology create huge opportunities for those who unshackle themselves from the past. These islands of the Caribbean, with their small populations and limited land space, no longer need be a limiting factor on our dreams and ambitions. Those of you who are willing to dream large dreams have every reason to realize them in this new unlimited age. Whatever you do in the future, I ask that you do it to be impactful, with commitment to the advancement not only of your personal interests, but those of the wider community. Be kind to yourself. We often forget the importance of taking care of our own health. In today's new operating environment, mental health is as critical as physical well-being. Give back to your alma mater. There are so many ways that you can do so. You can mentor students, serve as adjunct faculty, or technical advisors in specific areas. There are multiple ways and opportunities to contribute to ensure that the work and reputation of the UWI, which has given you so much, remain at a high level. Wherever you are, the Alumni Office will be reaching out to you. I hope that you will keep connected to your alma mater. This leg of your academic journey is done. Go forth and continue to shine. My warmest congratulations to you all. We are met today in order that we may mark by a formal ceremony the entry of certain of our members into the company of graduates and the academic achievement of others. As a university, we are an academic society of undergraduates, bachelors and masters, and doctors. And we follow the academic tradition in the pursuit of knowledge and the encouragement of learning, purposes which are laid down in the preamble to the Royal Charter by which we have been granted the powers needful for the prosecution of our affairs. In pursuit of these aims, our members advance from time to time to a higher standing in the academic community, and it is proper that as a body we should celebrate their achievement. It is marked by the granting of a degree or diploma or license or certificate, and we rejoice with our graduates on their advancement.
Chancellor, I now ask the public orator, Mrs. Leslie Crane Mitchell, to present the Right Honourable Dame Janet Gwyneth Bostwick, whom the Senate and the Council of the University have been pleased to recommend for the award of the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward through the night. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Chancellor. These inspirational words, uttered during a speech given by young Janet Musgrove, head girl of the Bahamian Government High School, would prove to be prophetic, a perfect description of the philosophy that guided the life and work of the Right Honourable Dame Janet Bostwick CB, BDE, whom we honour here today. The eldest daughter of Nicholas and Louise née Bethel Musgrove, Dame Janet was born on the 30th of October 1939 to a father who was a caretaker of a large property on Hog Island and a mother who worked as a domestic on an adjoining property. War baby Janet grew up enveloped in the warmth of a very close-knit family. Though from very humble beginnings, her parents were in many ways ahead of their time, adamant that all of their children, whether male or female, should have the same opportunities in life, as well as the same responsibilities. This egalitarian grounding would form the basis of a lifetime of activism, first learned at the feet of her father, an executive member of the Taxi Cab Union, which played a pivotal role in the historic 19-day general strike that rocked the Bahamas in 1958. As fate would have it, Dame Janet would begin her first job as a stenographer in the Attorney General's office in 1957, just weeks before the strike, and was therefore not only a witness to all of the chaos and excitement, but over the years privy to groundbreaking changes such as the passing of the first Industrial Relations Act, changes to the number of electoral seats allowed, the fight for male adult suffrage, and the even more protracted battle for women to be allowed to vote. The activist seed that was planted during a visit of the Progressive Liberal Party to the Government High School to speak about the future of the country would take root and blossom when she took on the role of shop steward and later Secretary General of the Bahamas Public Service Association, the first female to hold this position. It was very much a man's world, yet I was definitely supported by the men. All through my pregnancies, I was a trade unionist, and it was no problem, she said, recalling that just 2 hours after the birth of her first daughter, Lisa, the president and vice president of the union were at her bedside taking notes for a crucial meeting with the government. Her fastidious work ethic would soon earn her a promotion as private secretary to the Attorney General and later, administrative officer in charge of the legal department, a post she held until 1971. Encouraged by her loving husband, J. Henry Bostwick, QC, who she says always believed in me and saw in and for me all of the successes which I never saw for myself, Dame Janet would become articled to the Attorney General in 1966. This privilege, however, came with the stipulation that she remain in full-time employment throughout the duration of her studies, all this while also being a wife and mother of 2 young children. After 5 long years of toiling upward through the night, Dame Janet was enrolled as counsel and attorney of the Supreme Court of the Bahamas on April 2nd, 1971. Upon admission to the bar, Dame Janet was appointed Crown Counsel and shortly thereafter given duties as the first female prosecutor, a post that she held until she joined the family law firm Bostwick and Bostwick in 1975. Several other career firsts would follow. Dame Janet would become the first female to become elected as president of the Bar Association and chair of the Bar Council, the first female to serve as a member of Parliament following her election to the House of Assembly in 1982, the first female ever appointed to the position of Attorney General in the Bahamas and the region in November of 1994, the first female to be appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs for the Bahamas in 1995, and also the first female to act as Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. no longer restricted by the archaic rules of a public service which prohibited overt political involvement, Dame Janet's innate activism would be fully unleashed to find expression in service to a plethora of causes. There is something innate that when there is an injustice, I am uncomfortable if I am quiet about it, explained Dame Janet. However, it would be her unrelenting advocacy on behalf of women that would be the constant through all the changing seasons of her career. Whether campaigning as a trade unionist to improve the gender pay gap, non-existent maternity benefits, and lack of job security, or using her judicial platform to secure changes in legislation related to sexual offences, domestic violence, and child maintenance laws, or making women's issues her main platform during her political campaigns, Dame Janet's activism on women's issues in the Bahamas is legendary. The fact that she always held ministerial responsibility for women's affairs throughout her tenure as a cabinet minister also greatly enhanced her ability to promote women's rights by ensuring that they were embedded in the various portfolios held whilst in government. Her ongoing quest for women's rights between 1992 and 1994 would find Dame Janet leading the Bahamian delegation at the OAS Inter-American Commission of Women, as well as serving on its executive. Since 1994, she has also served on the executive of the United Nations Commission on Women and as the vice chair of the Bureau of the United Nations Fourth World Conference on Women, where she led a Bahamian delegation that was unanimously selected to coordinate the participation of the Caribbean region. This foray into diplomacy, which began with her attendance at the inaugural meeting of women parliamentarians in Dominica in 1985, would find Dame Janet leading countless other Bahamian delegations over the years at the highest levels, including the CARICOM Conference of Heads of Government, the CARICOM Forum of ACP States, the UN General Assembly, the General Assembly of the OAS States, the CARICOM Legal Affairs Committee, meetings of the Commonwealth Legal Affairs Ministers, and numerous other ministerial and high-level bilateral and multilateral meetings. When asked how she managed to balance it all, Dame Janet credited her success to her faith. My motivation has been my faith. My faith is the root of who I am. I have a burning desire to serve God, to serve Jesus Christ, and I see all of my work as a service to Him. That gives me zeal, resilience, focus. She also credits becoming a mother as being a major motivator. I was determined that I would leave the Bahamas and this world better for them, and I could not possibly make it better for them without making it better for all children. I do not believe that you should ever do only what is expected of you. I believe that you should always do the most you can. Whatever is asked of you, do more. I attained heights I could not have dreamed of, but it was an upward toiling, absolute perseverance, and being led and strengthened by the Spirit of God. That's how I did it. The fruits of this deep-rooted faith would result in Dame Janet receiving numerous national, regional, and international awards in recognition of her pioneering work championing the cause of families, women, and children. Most recently, in July 2018, she was made a Companion of the Order of the Bahamas, and in December of that same year, Commander of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire by Her Majesty the Queen. Though no longer able to take part actively in the cut and thrust of partisan politics, Dame Janet continues to mentor and inspire a new generation of young women to whom she now graciously passes the baton. Therefore, Chancellor, I ask that you invoke the powers invested in you by the Council and Senate of the University of the West Indies and confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, on the Right Honourable Dame Janet Gwinnett Bostwick, CB, DBE, pioneer, activist, politician, and diplomat.
By the authority vested in me by the Senate and the Council of the University of the West Indies, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Chancellor, I now ask the public orator, Mrs. Leslie Crane Mitchell, to present Monsignor the Honorable Dr. Patrick Anthony, whom the Senate and the Council of the University have been pleased to recommend for the award of the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Chancellor, the famous Lebanese-American writer, poet and philosopher Khalil Gibran, best known as the author of The Prophet, wrote, "I slept and I dreamed that life is all joy. I woke and I saw that life is all service. I served and I saw that service is joy." Words that encapsulate the incredible life and servant leadership of Monsignor the Honorable Dr. Patrick Paba Anthony, SLC, and the indelible contribution that he has made within the Roman Catholic Church and to the Caribbean region over the past 5 decades. A native St. Lucian, Monsignor Anthony was born on August 6, 1947 in Marsha in the parish of Castries. The son of a humble market vendor, Jane Anthony nee Butcher, and St. George Anthony, who worked at a manganese plant in Guyana, young Angus Butcher would be the first of his family to attend a secondary school, having earned a coveted Castries City Council scholarship to the St. Mary's College in 1959. Under the guidance of mentors such as Master Leonard Alfonso and Bishop Gachet, the first seeds leading to his fateful decision to become a priest would be nurtured and take root, much to the displeasure of his mother, who would later make good on her promise to put him out of her house should he choose the priesthood over becoming a big-time lawyer or doctor. This crisis of decision would be resolved in a dream vividly recalled by Monsignor Anthony, a terrifying but deeply moving celestial experience that would seal his decision to spend the next 7 years of his life at the Regional Seminary of St. John Vianney and the Uganda Martyrs in Trinidad and Tobago from 1966 to 1972 upon completion of Sixth Form College. It was there that Paba, as he was fondly called by his peers, would imbibe ideas about a radical kind of Christianity and become caught up in the ferment of Black and Caribbean consciousness sweeping through Trinidad and the region. I returned to St. Lucia in 1972 with a newfound radicalism, recalled Papa, with one big Afro garçon, and in those days I used to wear only sandals. I insisted on an ordination mass, which to this day is remembered as the first time that drums resounded through the cathedral and steel pan bust up the place. It was during this same ceremony, notably celebrated on August 6, 1972, on the same day as the Feast of the Transfiguration, that he would utter words that would become synonymous with his ordination and the way in which he would live out his vocation. "Today," he declared, "I am being ordained, but I am first of all a man, a Caribbean man, who is going to become a priest." This radical proclamation would be reflected in every aspect of his life and work in the decades that followed. A passionate advocate of the concept of a new Caribbean personhood, the newly appointed assistant priest attached to the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception would use his platform to promote his ideas through the weekly newspaper columns The Voice from Within and Poto l'Église, and a radio program called Church in the Home. Through these media and the pulpit, he championed ideas promulgated in the wake of Vatican II, the most significant being the celebration of the liturgy in the vernacular rather than Latin, and other seismic changes such as the painting of Black Jesus, along with other forms of indigenous religious art on the walls of local Catholic churches. These and other radical ideas would attract the support of groups of young people eager to embrace this new self-identity and lead to Paba founding the Folk Research Center in 1973, whose media programs such as Folkways of St. Lucia for the first time brought to the wider St. Lucian public the authentic folk culture of the people and fostered positive attitudes towards St. Lucia's native Creole. By 1975-76, his unrelenting efforts to revolutionize both church and community, which often mirrored those of secular political organizations such as the St. Lucia Forum, would brand him a dangerous influence by cathedral establishment and see him banished from his influential position at the cathedral to the outer districts of Moshi, Bexo, and Ancillary. Ironically, this punitive action enabled Paba to become even more intimately involved at the grassroots level of the parishes and provided the opportunity for him to found overwhelmingly popular community days that would serve as the precursors to Journée Creole, St. Lucia's largest contemporary cultural festival. Subsequently accused by the superior of the FMI fathers as suffering from a crisis of faith and of wanting to destroy the church, Paba would leave St. Lucia in protest. Ironically, he would soon be recalled by the bishop to take up the position of cathedral administrator and vicar general to guide the church through the period of social and political turbulence that gripped St. Lucia during the post-independence period from 1979 to 1982. In the years following his return, so highly regarded did he become at the national level that he would be called upon to help broker the historic agreement that led to the formation of a government of national unity and restored peace to the island. In the years that followed, Paba would become a Monsignor of the Catholic Church in 1984 and go on to earn his master's degree in theology from the Catholic Theological Union in Chicago in 1987, as well as a doctorate in literatures in English from the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus, which he completed in 2000. This theologian, cultural activist, and communications specialist extraordinaire would also co-found the Conference on Theology in the Caribbean Today in 1994, established the Jubilee Trust Fund in 1997 for assistance to young artists, cultural activists, and researchers, and the George Odlum Grant for Creative Artists in 2003. He would also serve as chairman of the St. Lucia National Trust Council from 1991 to 1997, vice president of the Archaeological and Historical Society from 1993 to 94, and chairman of the St. Lucia Integrity Commission. His pastoral concern for the growing number of homeless and indigent persons in St. Lucia would lead him to found the Antonian Home for the Aged and the St. Lucy's Home, which to this day remain sanctuaries for persons in need of rehabilitation and a shelter. His ongoing passion in the field of communications would find him serving for many years as editor of the Catholic Chronicle, and later becoming an advocate for the formation of WAC Caribe, the Caribbean branch of the World Association for Christian Communication, for which he served as president from 1996 to 2000. 10 years of dedicated service as director of the Central Committee of the WAC London would be acknowledged and rewarded when he was declared a WAC laureate in 2019, the very first Caribbean person to have been so honored. A prolific writer, Monsignor Anthony has contributed to and edited as many as 14 books and authored over 120 articles on diverse historical, cultural, and theological issues. It was only fitting, therefore, that this towering figure in St. Lucian history be the recipient of the St. Lucia Cross in 2000 for distinguished and outstanding service of national importance to St. Lucia, the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal in November 2012, and recognized as a national hero by the Folk Research Center in 2013. The year 2022 marked a milestone of 50 years of dedicated service to church and community. 50 years of shaping a generation that now forms the leadership of St. Lucia. Not that his joyful service is complete. Always one to keep pace with the times, his most recent social media series, Lucian Talk, Jesus Talk, is proof that there is still much more groundbreaking work to look forward to. Therefore, Chancellor, I ask that you invoke the powers invested in you by the Council and Senate of the University of the West Indies and confer the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, on Monsignor the Honorable Dr. Patrick Anthony, SLC, theologian, researcher, and cultural luminary.
By the authority vested in me by the Senate and the Council of the University of the West Indies, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
I now invite Monsignor Honorable Dr. Patrick Anthony to address the company.
Chancellor Bermudez, Vice Chancellor Beckles, Chairman of Global Campus Council, Her Excellency Dr. June Suma, Pro-Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal, Dr. Francis Severin, Honorary Graduate, University Executive and other members of staff, fellow graduates, distinguished guests. It is with profound humility that I accept this distinguished honor from my alma mater, the University of the West Indies. No accolade from any other institution can come remotely close to the joy and elation of being recognized and appreciated by your own Caribbean people. Let the immensity of my gratitude be permanently etched in this institution's memory. I would like to recognize my immediate family, my niece, Mrs. Monique George, and the children, Giovanni, Joachim, and Malaika. My colleagues from the Focus Center, from cultural and theological communities, regional and international, my media and Cobra Fitness family, friends, and well-wishers, thanks for your prayers and support. I stand before you today as just one in trillions who have walked on this little planet Earth, a mere speck in the cosmos. Yet, I stand in the amazing awareness that there is no other me in the universe, and likewise, there is no other you in existence. This is our radical identity and equality, which belies the false categories of color, race, class, gender, creed, excretions of the human intellect. For although with Derek Walcott, I can say, "Moi c'est Jean Saint-Lucie, c'est là moi sorti, is there that I born," I am also a child of the universe, linked to every aching pulse of our bleeding earth. And you graduates and everyone else, you can guess what I'm talking about. Our world, our earth, raped and scorched through successive epochs of greed, from indigenous extinctions, brutal slavery, colonial exploitation, to contemporary resource theft. And then, of course, there is the current barbarism and human slaughter, whose pathetic images frame the face of every mainstream global media and bombard the most intimate sanctuaries of our social media, be it TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Our unimaginable capacity for brutality and competition for savagery, the bullying, prejudice, duplicity, hypocrisy, and deceit, even at the highest levels internationally. These can sometimes shatter whatever slender faith or hope one had in the human project. As the Guyanese poet Martin Carter once wrote, "This is a dark time, my love. It is a festival of guns, the carnival of misery." And as the Judeo-Christian Bible once observed, God saw the wickedness of the human heart and regretted having created human beings. Genesis 6, verses 5 to 6. This is the global context, graduates, at whose portals you stand. Do you have a contribution to make, a new vision? Do you have hope that can transcend the human imagination? Do you have the courage and moral fortitude to stride boldly forward towards tomorrow? Has Global Campus prepared you for global citizenship, even while restructuring, reorganizing, reengineering, rebranding itself from open to Global Campus? I want to congratulate UWI for tagging itself as an excellent global university rooted in the Caribbean, for being the first-run Caribbean university, maintains position within the 1% of Latin America's finest, and also for making it to the top 150 best universities in the world for research impact. Big up UWI. Yet, although we must celebrate our achievements without awaiting external approval, the urgency of the present prevents us from delaying too long on self-affirmation. Graduates, we may be from a group of small islands, but we are world-class creatives. And the world needs people like us, Caribbean people. You see, as island dwellers, coastal peoples, we have been forced to become solution-oriented, creative thinkers and explorers of the imagination. Our ancestors had to survive the crises of indigenous extinction, slavery, colonialism, capitalist modernism, postmodernist exploitation. Through these experiences, they discovered their inner strength, their spirituality, and such values as resilience, interdependence, stick-at-itness, community sharing, and cooperation, what we call in my country, kudme. These values have been handed down to us through our cultural traditions and practices. This is also how we have produced and continue to produce such creative global citizens and world-class achievers like Nobel laureates, Sir Arthur Lewis, Derek Walcott, Vivian Naipaul, cricketers like Garfield Sobers, Vivian Richards, Brian Lara, Darren Sammy, athletes such as Usain Bolt, Malinotti, Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price, and our own young Julian Alfred, to name only a few. From where else could the genius of Bob Marley have emerged but from the crucible of such pain and oppression? Once before in history, a group of islands, the Grecian archipelago, without economic resources nor military prowess, conquered the then world through the power of Greek culture and civilization. The Greeks are remembered fondly to this day. Graduates, as the world perches on the brink of spiritual catastrophe and moral bankruptcy, the global community needs to hear our voice and our story. How we still dare to dream of a Caribbean space where every creed and race will find an equal place. Where, as in my beloved country, St. Lucia, we do not pray that mass murderers will beat their swords into plowshares, Isaiah 2 verse 4. No. Here, between rival flower festivals, as Walcott writes, we celebrate woundless wars with wooden swords. As he says, would that our scarred earth could contain such a sweet violence. These flowers fighting to remain not enemies, but friends. From The War of Flowers by Derek Walcott. Let the world hear our story. Read statements from CARICOM. And let the voices of PM Ralph Gonsalves and Mia Motley resound, saying that we are here. We have repeatedly shown this capacity to make happen the unimaginable. From Haiti to Darren Sammy's team's incredible victory a few years ago. These are the lessons and the spirit of possibility which carries us forward. Graduates, I want to tell you a story from the rich tapestry of our ancestral wisdom. It is the story of three brothers, which can well serve as a metaphor or a parable about our contemporary global situation. Monsieur the quick, quack, the quick, quack. Once there were three brothers, Goboudin, big belly, Patfin, skinny legs, and Guangel, big mouth. Goboudin, Patfin, and Guangel, the three brothers, went out to search for food. They found a pawpaw tree. Goboudin climbed the tree, and he began to eat pawpaw. His brothers at the foot of the tree begged him, Goboudin, please give us some. Goboudin kept on eating, and what would he give them? Guenipilapo, skin and seeds. Goboudin, please, help us. What would he give them? Guenipilapo, skin and seeds. Goboudin ate and ate and ate and ate until his belly became so big that it burst. When that happened, Guangzhou laughed and laughed and laughed until his mouth split right open. But Finn took off, ran away from the scene, and as he ran, his foot went into a small and it broke back. Let's hear the Greek. Yeah. The story of three brothers. They were brothers. What happened? One fell into the syndrome of greed, selfishness, had no concern for his brother. One brother, Guangzhou, when he saw the demise of Gobudin's brother, what did he do? He laughed. He found joy in his brother's demise. But Finn, the third brother, he ran away from the situation. Graduates, this is a metaphor, a parable of our contemporary world. A world in which there are so many Gobudins who don't care about their brothers. Those, what we call agulu guanfal, they grab for themselves, and the more they get and the more they want, the more they keep. And then we have the temptation to become like Guangzhou, those who laugh at the demise of the greedy. So it is a parable about human behavior. And that's from our ancestors, from the wisdom of our ancestors. We can say to the world, the Gobudin world, that Gobudin, this is a false philosophy. This cannot bring development, wholesome development. The world is made for all. All of us are brothers and sisters, and we can all share. There is enough for all of us. Graduates, this, I hope, you've learned from Global Campus. This, I hope you've learned, that you must be one of those who help to build a world that would not be a Gobudin world, but a world in which we share with each other. As you leave Global Campus, the world is before you. You may go out to the world. You may go elsewhere. You may develop yourself. Yes, it is good to advance. However, never forget where you came from. Never forget your Caribbean region. Never forget the University of West Indies. Never forget who made you. Remember, you can make your contribution, but always remember that your contribution must somehow be related to our Caribbean experience. Graduates, as you step out of the doors of Global Campus into the harsh sunshine of a new day, take with you all the knowledge and skills imparted during your sojourn here. Remember the stories that you heard, the fond memories that you shared, but above all, the fire of love for country and Caribbean peoples ignited in your belly. Wheresoever you may roam, hold on to your foundational values and traditions. Be open to new knowledge and experiences. Grow, blossom, soar. Help forge a new human civilization flavored with a touch of Caribbean genius by the adding of your pinch of creativity. In closing, let me register once again my sincere gratitude to the University of West Indies for bestowing upon me this singular honor, the Doctorate of Letters, honoris causa, which I now graciously accept.
We will now have a poem by Michael Blake titled The UWI at 75.
Lend me your ears, all you who hear. It is enlightenment galore. Come, get your share. Education, we know, more so than any other coeval, among ingredients for growth, is fundamentally vital. Be it for upward advancement or being economically versatile, desiring political astuteness, or to be socially mobile. Reading, cultural, financial, or computer literacy, being au fait with the law, or au courant with history. Whatever the endeavor, no matter the field, education is a sine qua non to succeed. It follows then, it stands to reason, sans doute, that the fount of education must be one resolute. The source, the reservoir, the dispenser thereof must be a pioneering trailblazer, more than just good enough. Our choice of such a site will decisively test whether the education received is mediocre or abuts the best. Many institutions abound, too many to number, which purport to rouse one from academic slumber. A plenitude of colleges exists here, there, and yon. Universities, too, the educational landscape adorn. Institutions of higher learning, they themselves do dub. Yet upon further research, many are really a dud. But aha, ahem, ahoy, aloha. There is one center of education, it's above most superior. Teaching, learning, research, advising flow deep, grounding its students in disciplines with knowledge that's steep. Law, medicine, business, humanities, just some. Sciences, sports, agriculture, singly or in union. Academic rigor, robust theses, these combine with a social inclusion sublime to offer an experience that none other can boast at this beacon of excellence. Sure deserves a toast. This citadel of quality has sired offsprings 5, embracing the Caribbean archipelago and keeping academia alive. Barbados bears Cayfield campus, Jamaica its Mona, St. Augustine resides in Trinidad, and 5 islands in Antigua. Then, of course, the open global platform is here to offer and provide online access to folks everywhere. Its labs, its theaters, its centers, its rooms and dorms are well equipped and outfitted for effective research, teaching, and learning, guided by top caliber professors, lecturers, and tutors dedicated to the institution, its reputation maintaining. These assets converge and unite in a manner superb to output findings and graduates well grounded. They are deployed and employed all over the globe, engendering and facilitating development solid. For 75 years, this venerable institution has served the Caribbean with unbridled distinction. Its alumni reside in lands north, south, east, and west, performing with consummate acumen, achieving results of the best. This epicenter of educational and academic supremacy promises to keep serving with unmatched superlativity. Its history, its record, its vision do please. Its name? The University of the West Indies. Congratulations to the University of the West Indies on its Diamond Jubilee. Happy 75th anniversary. Long live the University of the West Indies.
Chancellor, the persons whose names will be called studied in the University of the West Indies, and having fulfilled the requirements of the University of the West Indies, beg leave to be presented to you and to the Senate of the University by the Director of Academic Programming and Delivery as Bachelors of Education and Bachelors of Science, Social Sciences, or as holders of Associate of Science degrees or diplomas or certificates of the University of the West Indies.
Sir, my colleagues and I ask you to receive these persons present who, having fulfilled the requirements of this university, have been admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Education, Bachelor of Science, Engineering, Nursing, Science and Technology, Social Sciences, Doctor of Dental Surgery, or as holders of Associate of Science degrees or diplomas or certificates of the University of the West Indies.
By the authority vested in me, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called as graduate members of our society, and confer first degrees, associate degrees, diplomas, and certificates of this university.
Anguilla, Certificate in Tourism and Hospitality Management.
Violet Frank.
Associate of Science. Calnia Hughes, with distinction. Bachelor of Education. Shakila Ritchie. Chantel Rogers. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences. Kenika Bailey, with First Class Honors. Giselle Bartlett Barrett, with First Class Honors. Shanette Briscoe McDowell. Hakira Brooks. Canelva Brooks, with First Class Honors. Tavali Brooks. Andrea Brown, with First Class Honors. Kyla Freeman, with First Class Honors. Rachel Haskins Connor, with First Class Honors. Karena Lake. Eva McLean. Khadija Muhammad, with First Class Honors. Sherianne Roberts, with First Class Honors. Keandra Robinson. Denise Samuel, with First Class Honors. Marlin Sharpless. Antigua and Barbuda, Associate of Science. Ailette Benjamin. Kiara Vivenes Romney, with distinction, Bachelor of Education. Lashana Alfred, with First Class Honors. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences. Abigail Bino, with First Class Honors. Ainita Cabral. Vonette Dash. Kendall Jacobs. Bianca Nelson, with First Class Honors. Glenisha Parilon, with First Class Honors. The Bahamas. Certificate in Early Childhood Development and Family Studies. Rudika Albury. Associate of Science. Renice Mackenzie Hanna, with distinction, Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences. Brandy Brennan. Carla Wallace. Barbados. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences. Quinzel Ford, with First Class Honors. Kevin Harewood, with First Class Honors. Faye Wilshire, with First Class Honors. Belize. Diploma in Public Sector Administration. Alfred Anderson. Associate of Science. Leticia Marin. Dave Norales, with distinction. Mateo Salam, with distinction. Bachelor of Education. Yasmini Kalis, with First Class Honors. Ariani Gongora, with First Class Honors. Isaura Nunes. with first class honors. Bachelor of Science, Engineering.
Oshahun Oho.
Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences.
Sarah Ball. Christiane Carrillo,
with first class honors.
Myrtle Fernandez. Jasmine Francisco,
with first class honors.
Shaquelle Jeffords. Patricia Johnson,
with first class honors.
Rashida Jones. Consuelo Ruiz. Admar Ubina,
with first class honors.
Elizabeth Usher,
with first class honors. British Virgin Islands, Certificate in Tourism and Hospitality Management.
Yolan Andrews.
Certificate in Early Childhood Development and Family Studies.
Simone Gollimore McPherson.
Associate of Science.
Chantal Samuels,
with distinction. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences.
Brittany Brown,
with first class honors.
Shalina Lequant. Charisse Martin,
with first class honors.
Sabrina Perry,
with first class honors.
Tanisha Todd.
Cayman Islands, Associate of Science.
Rhonda Lee Coleman. Shamara Henry.
Bachelor of Education.
Charlene Campbell,
with first class honors.
Keisha Reed. Diane Shand Sibley,
with first class honors. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences.
Elaine Barnett,
with first class honors.
Shamaine Bowden,
with first class honors.
Delmarie Eccleston. Renisha Palmer. Tamara Patton. Tamara Walker. Jody Ann Wignell,
with first class honors. Dominica, Bachelor of Education.
Sarita Agba Akpa. Alton Odane,
with first class honors.
Anissa Moulin,
with first class honors.
Keanu Winston,
with first class honors. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences.
Martina Alexander,
with first class honors.
Dave Alexis. Chernell Anthony,
with first class honors.
Christy Balthazar. Nardine Benjamin,
with first class honors.
Bridget Benoit,
with first class honors.
Romeo Bruno,
with first class honors.
Janelle Charles,
with first class honors.
Alice Chitik with first class honors. Marisa Christopher. Alexandra Dupini with first class honors. Walida Durand with first class honors. Casey Farrell. Felicia George Pierre with first class honors. Chamel Hillier. Kayla Holmes with first class honors. Valerie Honorary. Khadija Jackson. Renelle James with first class honors. Sherry Jeffrey. Quenisa Laurent. Alina Mills. Desma Patrick with first class honors. Imana Pierre with first class honors. Antonia Pierre Hector with first class honors. Sharon Rabes with first class honors. Donna Sirant with first class honors. Vernell Theophile. Myola Walsh Richards with first class honors. Vernell Williams with first class honors. Grenada, Bachelor of Education. Vonda Alexander with first class honors. Lisha Alexis with first class honors. Nicole Batiste with first class honors. Loydris Bernard with first class honors. Carlson Charles with first class honors. Desiree Hassel. Margaret Horsford with first class honors. Roxanne Lacey with first class honors. Samuel Mapson with first class honors. Saron Mark with first class honors. Carmel Pascal. Carnisha Phillip with first class honors. Nadia Swan with first class honors. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences. Carla Eban. Abigail Alexander with first class honors. Judianne Alexander with first class honors. Nikeda Alexander with first class honors. Shanique Ambrose with first class honors. Candiane Bain with first class honors. Nadia Brathwaite with first class honors. Hilver Callis with first class honors. Tyrone Charles with first class honors. Narisa Chitterman with first class honors. Cassandra Etienne. Giselle Evans with first class honors. Kisson Ferguson. Crystal Francis. Debbie Ann Fullerton. Alicia George with first class honors. Atasha Gilbert with first class honors. Francis Gilbert.
with first class honors,
Troy Hassel.
with first class honors,
Welana Hercules.
with first class honors,
Asha Hippolyte.
with first class honors,
Shari Jeffrey. Cherie Joseph.
with first class honors,
Sharon Joseph.
with first class honors,
Wilcia Joseph. Janice Lacey. Danave McNeil.
with first class honors,
Onika Melville. Barqui Noel.
with first class honors,
Crystal Paul.
with first class honors,
Chantel Paul.
with first class honors,
Zelika Peters. Donisa Phillip. Tamisha Roberts Charles.
with first class honors,
Deandra Ross Batiste.
with first class honors,
Wanella Sandy.
with first class honors,
Lisa Simeon.
with first class honors,
Rihanna Strawn. Shimron Taylor.
with first class honors,
Kellon Thomas.
with first class honors,
Crystal Williams.
with first class honors,
Elwise Williams.
with first class honors,
Kelisha Williams.
with first class honors, Jamaica, Associate of Science,
Arlene Anderson. Trishelle Dunn.
Bachelor of Education,
Margaret Baxter. Shanikia Blake Mead.
with first class honors,
Yolanda Evans Parkinson. Ashley Gail Sylvester. Peter Gay James.
with first class honors,
Andrea Jeffrey. Narda Johnson Edwards.
with first class honors,
Cadian Raymond Martin. Conceta Rodriguez.
Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences,
Danisha Allen.
with first class honors,
Joelle Barrett.
with first class honors,
Zenion Bennett. Tishara Blake. Amber J. Brown.
with first class honors,
Lacey Brown.
with first class honors,
Shauna Gay Brown.
with first class honors,
Shanice Campbell.
with first class honors,
Petrona Campbell Hamilton. Orkeisha Christopher.
with first class honors,
Cheryl Codner.
with first class honors,
Dawn Dollhouse. Jamie Dignall. Shanique Gibson.
with first class honors,
Annette Green.
with first
class honors.
Shani Mae Griffiths, Shanae Haynes, Dwayne Hendricks,
With first class honors,
Stephanie Henry, Raquel Hoylett, Anne Marie Hunter, Christopher Johnson, Carice Mackenzie,
with first class honors,
Antoinette Miller, Copeland Miller, Justina Moody,
with first class honors,
Marsha Moody Morgan, Treflin Morris,
with first class honors,
Safoy Pinnock,
with first class honors,
Shanique Powell, Farah Robertham, Jodane Russell Guerra,
with first class honors,
Clifford Saunders,
with first class honors,
Delani Shaw,
with first class honors,
Maxine Smith, Anika Stewart,
with first class honors,
Marsha White Flesher, Stacy Ann Wright,
Montserrat, Diploma in Public Sector Administration,
Josephine Jeffrey,
Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences,
Leslyn David, Kenya Etienne,
with first class honors,
Garnella Gilbert,
with first class honors,
Liska Peters, Tycia Rodney,
St. Kitts and Nevis, Bachelor of Education,
Ruth Bedford,
with first class honors,
Chanel Byron Cassius,
with first class honors,
Richard Galloway,
with first class honors, Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences,
Shulan Bass, Harday Bipat, Idona Brown,
with first class honors,
Saskia Brown,
with first class honors,
Suan Collins,
with first class honors,
Sylvia Doe, Kenisha Dubison,
with first class honors,
Aparisha George, Carol Griffin,
with first class honors,
Dylan Griffin,
with first class honors,
Dacil Hamilton,
with first class honors,
Kyle Lieberd, Udonna Lieberd,
with first class honors,
Kashanda Liddy, Charnel McMaster,
with first class honors,
Chandravatia Muniram, Clivette Nias, Craig Phillip,
Denver Rollins, Carissa Simon, Makalia Stevens, Noveline Webb, Janelle Webster, Kalisa Wigley with first class honors, St. Lucia, certificate in social work, Leontina White, Associate of Science, Linda Henry, Bachelor of Education, Tessa Amable, Josette Charles with first class honors, Juan Cherubin, Mindy Frederick with first class honors, Digna Gordon with first class honors, Mishadi Lovence with first class honors, Nicole Nixon with first class honors, Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences, Evelyn Abbott with first class honors, Kizzy Abraham, Ariel Albert with first class honors, Nika Albert with first class honors, Javel Al-Saidi with first class honors, KJ Alexander with first class honors, Anissa Alfred with first class honors, Kimberly Alfred with first class honors, Wallian Alfred with first class honors, Shernell Amuzu with first class honors, Okima Anius with first class honors, Athna Auguste with first class honors, Ghislaine Augustine, Sergey Augustine, Delia Bulai with first class honors, Giselle Charles, Sinead Comby with first class honors, Ziva Cox, Natasha Decotu Prosper, Masha Edward with first class honors, Marquisa Elivic Girahu with first class honors, Lintus Emmanuel, Sherry Etienne with first class honors, Talifa Etienne with first class honors, Shernell George, Sylvius George, Tara Gonzague with first class honors, Kelly Henry with first class honors, Daika Hippolyte, Monday Hippolyte with first class honors, Keisha Hyacinth Duplessis with first class honors, Zima Isidore with first class honors, Vicky James with first class honors, Olinka Jean, Anna Jeremy, Linda Jean-Baptiste Esnard, Yannick John. Dahlia Joseph with first class honors. Stasia Jules with first class honors. Taveri Curtin. Lisette Labanard with first class honors. Kezia Lafue. Noah Lawrencey. Vernell Larish with first class honors. Sylvie Lesporis with first class honors. Arlena Louisian with first class honors. Antonia Louison with first class honors. Donnelly Louisi. Sunil Mathurin. Damian McGowan with first class honors. Anya Mitchell with first class honors. Monique Mooney with first class honors. Julie Octave. Kyla Odlum with first class honors. Antiabi Phillip with first class honors. Shegun Salmon. Yanel Sam with first class honors. Tani Samuel with first class honors. Emily Simon with first class honors. Delan Smith with first class honors. Katrina St. Omer. Miranda St. Rose with first class honors. Oricel Saintville. Brittany Theodule. Nina William with first class honors. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Certificate in Early Childhood Development and Family Studies. Fanelli Kolzak. Bachelor of Education. Modica Bascom with first class honors. Janae Brown with first class honors. Javon Bino with first class honors. Ornella Child with first class honors. Melissa Cordis with first class honors. Akelia Cornwall Malcolm with first class honors. Kinwan Katoy John with first class honors. Marika Craig with first class honors. Nikita Daniel with first class honors. Sunique Dishong with first class honors. Patrice Dick with first class honors. Alicia Dublin with first class honors. Ayana Evans Little with first class honors. K. Neil Henry with first class honors. Sharika Jackson with first class honors. Sophia Jackson with first class honors. Karina James George with first class honors. Bria John with first class honors. Patrius Kerr with first class honors. Melissa Laborde with first class honors. Avril Liverpool with first class honors. Tishana Reed with first class honors. Ralmore Richardson with first class honors. Benicia Rodney with first class honors. Tamaria Stevens McLean with first class honors. Alana Williams Hillocks with first class honors. Bachelor of Science, Engineering. Michael Brown. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences. Kendra Allen with first class honors. Cedrica Alvis. Kimnia Arrington. Tanisha Ballantyne with first class honors. Latisha Brown with first class honors. Shansha Brown. Katie Burnett. Cameron Cato with first class honors. Lizreen Charles Wright with first class honors. Janaya Craig with first class honors. Hannah Kozak Pierre. Marcella Cupid Peters. Kenisha Dabrio with first class honors. Kimisha Dean. Nakisha Douglas. Ronique Douglas with first class honors. Nevorn Duncan with first class honors. Quinton Duncan. Andrea Durant with first class honors. Roseanne Durant with first class honors. Tatis Francis with first class honors. Tamara Franklin with first class honors. Moesha Gage with first class honors. Natalia Gill with first class honors. Sienna Gordon with first class honors. Ronaldo Harold with first class honors. Safia Harry. Kemisha Homer with first class honors. Araya Horn with first class honors. Shaquille Hunt. Otobong Idio. Brianna Jack. Lashana Jacobs. Hadassah James. Kizzy John with first class honors. Kinda John Matthias with first class honors. Zamaria Jones with first class honors. Gabriella Kidd with first class honors. Azani Lavier. Monette Lane James with first class honors. Delisas Lewis. Marlon Lewis with first class honors. Shakira London. Krishna Marksman with first class honors. Aviang Murphy with first class honors. Shireen Oliver with first class honors. Nakita Olton with first class honors. Sherianne Pope. Kezia Kwashi, Roxanne Richards, with first class honors. Roselle Robertson, with first class honors. Elissa Ryan, Corleen Samuel, with first class honors. Nakita Samuel, with first class honors. Shanisha Smart, with first class honors. Rosinga Straker, Anika Thomas, with first class honors. Lana Thomas Cupid, with first class honors. Ashika Trimingham, Devon Walker, Veron Walker, Okira Warren, with first class honors. Clifferna Williams, with first class honors. Moesha Williams, Ronil Williams, Tanya Williams, with first class honors. Doctor of Dental Surgery. Sabrina Brown, Daniela Dalrymple, Trinidad and Tobago, Certificate in Criminology. Saka Muhammad, Certificate in Early Childhood Development and Family Studies. Ashley Muhammad McCarthy, Diploma in Business Administration. Nestor Gray, Caitlin Ramsaran, with distinction. Associate of Science. Shalom Ali, Norma Anyao, Anna Smith, with distinction. Shanice Washington, with distinction. Bachelor of Education. Bernice Batiste Martin, with first class honors. Nalini Budram, with first class honors. Ramcharan Mutilal, with first class honors. Rebecca Painter, with first class honors. Shushma Ram Kalawan. Kofi Tony, Bachelor of Science, Science and Technology. Kimala Alexander, with first class honors. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences. Sherianne Alexander. Candice Ali. Hamid Amarali, with first class honors. Darrell Arjun. Kimberly Arjun, with first class honors. Renee Assam. Akila Charles. Prudence Charles. Natasha Kujoy. Hazel Fernando Sandy, with first class honors. Rachel Gregoire. Dana Johnfin, with first class honors. Tamika King. with first class honors.
Karasan Modeste,
With first class honors.
Micheline Pariag,
With first class honors.
Khadija Philip,
With first class honors.
Malti Ramdas, Dale Ramdeen,
With first class honors. Turks and Caicos, Associate of Science.
Kemori Knott, Tracy Livermore,
Bachelor of Education.
Lisa Lemmy Pickersgill,
With first class honors.
Abina Miller,
With first class honors.
Andrea Scarlett Ferguson,
With first class honors. Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences.
Francesca Joseph,
With first class honors. International Student, Guyana, Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences.
Alana George,
With first class honors. International Student, Kenya, Bachelor of Science, Social Sciences.
Maria Mahuhu.
I now call on the class valedictorian, Miss Brea John, Bachelor of Education, with first class honors from the Global Campus, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to deliver the valedictory address.
Chancellor Bermudez, Vice Chancellor Beckles, Chairperson of Global Campus Council, Her Excellency Dr. June Suma, Pro Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal Dr. Francis Severin, honorary graduates, university executives and other members of staff, fellow graduates, distinguished guests, good afternoon. When we started on this journey, we were told that to be successful, we must read for our degrees. But some of us knew right away that this was going to be no easy feat because we prefer to scan as opposed to read. The Oxford Dictionary has a definition for perseverance, but let me dig deeper into the meaning by leaning on Jamaican dancehall artist Popcorn as he sings. Jah, give we the energy we need. Jah, you keep we firm and strong. My fellow graduates, here we are at the finish line, having emerged as lifelong learners with the critical and creative thinking skills needed to contribute to the development of the region. Pelicans, keep winning. Jah has indeed kept us firm and strong. As we reflect today, some of us may say, how did we even do it? Again, perseverance. Our life-changing experiences at the University of the West Indies Global Campus have shown us that excelling at higher education is not only for the young with no burdening responsibilities, it is for everyone. And so today, we all graduate as ideal Caribbean citizens who are reflexive practitioners who have forged not only a sense of individual identity, but a well-grounded regional identity. To this end, I would say that the UWI Global Campus is an institution that was made for us. It afforded us regional integration to network in a pepper pot of culture. We were strangers working together who forged lifelong relationships. I can testify that within our cohort, we embodied regional pride. One of my mentors would often remind me of the saying, you can't dance abroad if you can't dance a yard. And this is what the atmosphere at the UWI Global Campus represents. The word graduate is derived from the Latin word graduatus, which means to step up. And this was reflected in the high expectations of our tutors. and step up we did. Sometimes after a long day, all we had were tears, migraines, and poor vision from too much time on our devices. However, these high expectations of the supportive staff pushed us beyond the bounds we knew and challenged us to be the best. Perseverance. When we began this journey, some of us were crippled with anxiety, not knowing how we would readjust to school life while balancing everything else. We knew not of the headaches ahead of us, like experiencing a heart attack when we got our first Turnitin report on an assignment and saw that the similarity percentage was 30% because we uploaded the entire assignment, including title page and references. We knew not of the emotional and mental breakdowns we would experience while completing a graded oral group presentation and our Wi-Fi connection or electricity suddenly dropped. Or when we would be rushing to meet the deadline on an assignment for 11:59 p.m. and our computers either froze or magically began to update at 11:51 p.m. Nevertheless, in the words of the late Vincentian Calypsonian Razam Shallow, fight on, never mind the sweat, you got to sweat to get. Every good seed you sow brings a fruit wherever you plant it. And so we did. We fought even when we wanted to give up. We gathered ourselves and we fought harder. Perseverance. It is this fight that has left us with some non-negotiables. Amid collaboration, we maintained our independence, originality, and creativity, but promoted critical thinking and problem solving that incorporated our unique perspectives. These collaborations taught us that by believing in ourselves, being good team players, and putting our trust in God, we would be able to see our battles through to the end. In the midst of the grief of losing my grandmother and 2 aunts, I made a promise that continuing my studies would only make me stronger. And so it did. I know this is not limited to my personal journey, as many would have lost loved ones, especially during the deadly COVID-19 pandemic. And still, we persevered. We are eternally grateful to our families and friends for their love and support. We thank you. More testimonies of perseverance are not only applicable to my Vincentian peers who managed to complete assignments and exams while working as shelter volunteers during the La Soufrière volcanic eruption in April 2021, but also to those who were ravaged by other natural disasters across the region. Even though death may not have been the result, loss still would have been their test of strength. Jah has indeed kept us firm and strong. Pelicans, let us soar high on the wings of our unified regional identity, regardless of our professions, to develop more innovative techniques to combat issues that continue to grapple with our strides in development. Let us set a precedent by becoming citizens who refuse to bend and surrender to our circumstances, to be effective agents of change in our fields, to provide good governance, equal access to opportunities, quality education and healthcare with an increased awareness of climate change, and feasible solutions necessary to reorganize, re-engineer and rebrand our Caribbean region. Let this be our hope, dream, and vision for our graduating class of 2023. Let us never forget that it is our responsibility to let the world know that as a region, we little, but we talawa. So, allow me to leave with you more words of wisdom from Razam Shallow. We got to fight on, take rapid flight, work hard day and night. It is the only way to go if you hope for a future bright. Pelicans, let us put on full display the outcome of perseverance, a light rising from the west that is far-reaching beyond the UWI Global Campus, so that our voices can be heard among the leaders on the world stage. Thank you.
Sir, I now call on Professor Julie Meeks Gardner, Director of Graduate Studies and Research, to present to you, members of our society, for the award of master's degrees and postgraduate diplomas of this university.
Sir, I present to you these members of our society who, having fulfilled the requirements of this university, have been admitted to master's degrees and postgraduate diplomas, and beg that you recognize their advancement in our society.
By the authority vested in me, I confer on these persons whose names are about to be called master's degrees, postgraduate diplomas, and certificates of this university, and recognize their advancement in our society.
Anguilla, Master of Science, Management and Educational Leadership.
Verilyn Bruno Mason. Miguela Flanders.
Master of Science, Management Studies.
Dorrit Gums. Nicola Webster.
Master of Science, Management Studies. Human Resource Management.
Cheridel Cunningham Coombs.
Master of Science, Management Studies, Marketing.
Molentia Samuel.
With distinction. Antigua and Barbuda, Master in Business Administration, Marketing and Analytics.
Kellyanne Wright Boatswain.
Master of Science, Management Studies, Human Resource Management.
Navida Edwards.
Master of Science, Management Studies, Management Information Systems.
Chantel Christian.
The Bahamas, Master of Education, Literacy Instruction.
Kayla Rami.
Master of Science, Management Studies.
Natasha Williamson.
With distinction. Barbados, Postgraduate Diploma in Junior Command and Staff Leadership.
Dexter Hope.
Postgraduate Diploma in Management and Educational Leadership.
Tanisha Ford Skeet.
With distinction. Postgraduate Diploma in Management Studies.
Modupe Shodei Bodu.
With distinction. Master of Science, Instructional Design and Technology.
Shernell Gill.
With distinction.
Sasha Griffith.
With distinction. Belize, Master of Arts, English Language.
Dene Fairweather. Renee MacDonald.
With distinction.
Faron Young.
With distinction. Master of Education, Literacy Instruction.
Terry Westby Langford.
With distinction.
Croatia Williams.
Master of Science, Management and Educational Leadership.
Tashira Bowen.
With distinction, Master of Science, Management Studies, Marketing.
Philippa August.
The British Virgin Islands, Master of Science, Management and Educational Leadership.
Melissa Lando.
Master of Science, Management Studies.
Lisa Georges.
With distinction, Master of Science, Management Studies, Marketing.
Kayana Walters.
The Cayman Islands, Master of Science, Management and Educational Leadership.
Lenworth Duhaney.
Master of Science, Management Studies, Human Resource Management.
Clayton Ingram.
Dominica, Master in Financial Management.
Cherise Miglo.
Master of Science, Counseling.
Biola Aminde.
Master of Science, Management Studies, Human Resource Management.
Kimani Girodel.
With distinction, Master of Science, Management Studies, Public Sector Management.
Anestin Baron.
Grenada, Master of Arts, Leadership in Technical and Vocational Education and Training and Workforce Development.
Fiona Klein.
Master of Education, Teaching and Learning with Emerging Technologies.
Finton Paul.
With distinction, Master of Science, Management and Educational Leadership.
Natasha Sutherland McEwen.
Master of Science, Management Studies.
Kareen Telesford.
Master of Science, Management Studies, Marketing.
Shadonna Richardson.
With distinction, Master of Science, Management Studies, Project Management.
Carleen Perryman.
With distinction, Jamaica, Postgraduate Diploma in Information Technology Education.
Gina Christie.
Master of Arts, English Language.
Maureen Donaldson. Patricia Mackenzie Keene.
Master of Education, Literacy Instruction.
Chrisanne Atkinson Murray. Arlene Christie Richards.
With distinction,
Brittany Hunter. Shaw Day Maxwell.
With distinction,
Ruth Witter Binns.
Master of Education, Teaching and Learning with Emerging Technologies.
Debbie Ann Hall.
With distinction,
Judith Hemmings.
With distinction, Master of Science, Instructional Design and Technology.
Javian Patterson.
With
distinction, Master of Science, Management and Educational Leadership, Jodian Carnegie, Suan Daly, with distinction, Jellerine Jarrett Taylor, Hikana Lewis, Krista Gale Murphy, with distinction, Romaine Murray, with distinction, Mariala Nation, with distinction, Monique Rose Reed, with distinction, Takeshia Rowe Robinson, with distinction, Jade Tingling, with distinction, Faithlyn Walters, with distinction, Paul Wedderburn, Montserrat, Master of Science, Management Studies, Public Sector Management, Nyota Mulcair, St. Kitts and Nevis, Postgraduate Diploma in Management Studies, Joycelyn Thomas, Master of Science, Management Studies, Latoya Davis, Claudel Gumbs, Enyamikie Powell, with distinction, Rencia Skeet, Master of Science, Management Studies, Human Resource Management, Tanya Kelly, Daryl Rawlings, with distinction, Master of Science, Management Studies, Management Information Systems, Nicole Johnson, Master of Science, Management Studies, Project Management, Claytecia Daniel, with distinction, St. Lucia, Postgraduate Diploma in Teaching and Learning with Emerging Technologies, Fadia Campbell, with distinction, Master of Education, Teaching and Learning with Emerging Technology, Kimberly Hatton, with distinction, Master of Science, Development Studies, Alana Dubois, with distinction, Master of Science, Management Studies, Charisse Taylor, Master of Science, Management Studies, Human Resource Management, Janik Daniel, Master of Science, Management Studies, Management Information Systems, Owen Remy, with distinction, Master of Science, Management Studies, Public Sector Management, Miliana Hall, with distinction, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Master in Business Administration, General Management, Phil Da Silva, Master of Business Administration, Stanton Gomes, Master of Science, Clinical Psychology, Misha Charles, Master of Science, Management Studies, Marketing.
Peter Sutherland,
With distinction. Master of Science, Management Studies, Project Management.
Stephen Cupid,
With distinction.
Chrislyn Goldburn Harry,
With distinction. Master of Science, Management Studies, Public Sector Management.
Corliss Murray,
Trinidad and Tobago. Postgraduate Diploma in Health Research and Epidemiology.
Denny Singh,
Postgraduate Diploma in Instructional Design.
Shannon Julian,
Postgraduate Diploma in Junior Command and Staff Leadership.
Runako Drayton,
With distinction. Master in Adult and Continuing Education.
Patricia Hackett,
Master of Science, Instructional Design and Technology.
Alethea Ranker Batiste,
With distinction.
Allison Salandi Bernard,
Master of Science, Management and Educational Leadership.
Camille Mitchell, Nadia Richards,
With distinction. International Student, Botswana. Postgraduate Diploma in Junior Command and Staff Leadership.
Kehumile Modimo Osi,
International Students, Guyana. Postgraduate Diploma in Early Childhood Education.
Shondell Gonzalez,
With distinction. Postgraduate Diploma in Education, Secondary, English.
Jessica Goodchild, Alicia Jabbar,
With distinction.
Lily Wilson Joseph,
With distinction. Postgraduate Diploma in Education, Secondary, Mathematics.
Fawn Downer,
With distinction.
Ronaldo Eastman,
With distinction.
Jewel McCalmont,
With distinction.
Okolo McFarlane Jingory,
With distinction.
Fizad Mohammed,
With distinction.
Shayama Paltu Naidu,
With distinction.
Keisha Semple, Mahindra Sharma,
With distinction.
Josiah Sudyal,
With distinction.
Nathan Wilbur, Teresa Williamson,
Postgraduate Diploma in Instructional Design.
Shumaine Howard,
With distinction.
Stayan Smart, Allison Tinnis,
Postgraduate Diploma in Literacy Instruction.
Haim Wante G1,
Master of Education, Literacy Instruction.
Onika Hines,
With distinction. Master of Science, Development Studies.
Safrana Cameron, Joel
Paris. Master of Science, Management and Educational Leadership.
Natasha Ramru.
With distinction. International student, St. Martin, Master of Science, Management Studies, Human Resource Management.
Shavon Kelly.
With distinction.
Sir, I now call on Professor Audrey Henry Lee, Pro Vice Chancellor, Graduate Studies and Research, to present to you, members of our society, for the award of Doctor of Education degrees.
Sir, I present to you these members of our society who, having fulfilled the requirements of this university, have been admitted to the degree of Doctor of Education, and beg that you recognize their advancement in our society.
By the authority vested in me, I confer on these persons whose names are about to be called the degree of Doctor of Education of this university and recognize their advancement in our society.
The Bahamas, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership, Education Systems and Schools, Robin Francis Daval. Carolyn Mitchell, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership, Higher Education, Michelle Wildgoose. Dominica, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership, Higher Education, Cyrilla Anselm, Olumbenga Morebishe, Jamaica, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership, Education Systems and Schools, Texel Christie. Trinidad and Tobago, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership, Education Systems and Schools, Hazel Collette Adams. Listra Das. Jewel Livingston with high commendation. Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership, Higher Education.
Grace Everty Jacquot.
I now call on UWI alumni representative, Miss Antoinette Ola Lehe, to lead the graduates in the alumni pledge.
Good afternoon to all. It is a distinct honor and pleasure to officially welcome you to the UWI alumni family. You are encouraged to become engaged alumni who show Pelican pride and are involved in the life of the campus as guest speakers, mentors, supporters of all events, and promoters of the University of the West Indies. At this time, the graduating class of 2023 is cordially invited to recite together the UWI Alumni Pledge.
As a graduate of the University of the West Indies, I commit myself to uphold the ideals and goals of my alma mater. My conduct and voice shall reflect the commitment to excellence of the light rising from the West. As I fulfill my social and professional responsibilities and serve my community and region, I will strive to ensure that I stays as a Caribbean icon, the catalyst for Caribbean development and leadership. It is a legacy that I will proudly help build for future generations. The UWI, first in our hearts and first in our region.
We will now have a rendition of the university song, There Is a Light.
From Caribbean islands, Guyana and Belize, was born a university of the West Indies, proud symbol of a oneness for strength and unity. With vision clear, you came along to shape our destiny, to follow after knowledge, the truth to seek and find, to teach us love and justice, to liberate the mind. Today we see you rising, a light out of the west, that guides the feet of all who seek the noblest and the best. There is a light that is rising from out of the west, and proud bearers of that light are we. So we follow those whose work has brought glory to your name, making a better world for you and for me. As from your noble portals, your sons and daughters go to face a world of challenges, to conquer every foe. We'll work and play together, and as time marches on, we'll never forget the lessons that the whole are we are one. UWI, we praise you, we lift our voice in song, we let our beat drums roll loud and sing as we along. For you have shaped our lives so that we can truly say, to you we owe our gratitude, a debt we can't repay. There is a light that is rising from out of the west, and proud bearers of that light are we. So we follow those whose work has brought glory to your name, making a better world for you and for me. This is our University of the West Indies.
As we come to the end of our ceremony, it would be wrong of us not to acknowledge the role that our friends, family, loved ones have played in your success. So those of you who have your friends and family around you to see this graduation ceremony, I'd like you to turn to them and let them know how much their love and support has meant to you while you have toiled at the University of the West Indies. Congratulations.
This brings to a close the public ceremony by which the University of the West Indies has signalized the award of degrees, associate degrees, diplomas, and certificates to its graduates.
It's a